Reading people's mind is one of the best skills a magician can have to be considered great. And some of the world's best magicians have showcased these very skills on various talent shows around the world. So, be it Marc Spielmann's amazing prediction act, or the famous Darcy Oake making Heidi float in the air. Hello and welcome back, and today we're gonna figure out the secrets behind some of the most famous magic tricks from Britain's Got Talent. So, let's get started. The first trick, the Incredible Prediction Act. Marc Spelmann, the magician from London, amazed everyone present when he performed this incredible mind-reading act on Britain's Got Talent. Here's what he did. He starts off the trick by asking each of the 4 judges to perform a task. He first asks David to pick a random colored crayon from a box of different colored crayons without looking at the box. Amanda was then asked to randomly mix up a Rubik's Cube. After she scrambles the cube, Marc then places that cube in a box. Thereafter, Alicia randomly picks up a puppet penguin card from a deck of specially designed cards. And finally, Simon randomly makes a small circle mark on a random page inside a book. Also, there was an emotional part in the act which moved everyone present there, when Marc shares his family story with the audience. Amazingly, after sharing the happy ending, Marc then reveals pre-recorded clips of his young daughter from the past, where he correctly predicts the outcome of each of the judges' choices. So, how did Marc correctly predict all 4 outcomes in the past? Well, here's the secret. The trick consists of 4 parts. First, the crayon box trick, second, the card trick, third, the Rubik's Cube trick, and the final part, the trick involving the book. Now, Marc did an amazing job by perfectly combining the emotional as well as the illusory elements in his act, and presented in a way which amazed everyone around. Also, the key secret of this act is that all 4 outcomes were forced onto the judges, as he already knew the result. Yes, the things he brought along for the trick involved some or the other kind of gimmick, which you'll know as we proceed further. Now, coming to the first part, the crayon box you see might look like any other normal crayon box from the outside. However, the box is designed in such a way that it has 2 storage compartments built inside the box. As you can see here, the upper compartment, the one he showed to everyone, had multicolored crayon sticks, while the lower compartment, the one which he concealed from everyone, had only red-colored crayons. Now you must have guessed it. While shaking up the box, he turns over and brings the lower compartment to the top. To make it easier for himself, he even tells David to pick any random crayon without looking at the box. So now there are only red crayons to choose from, and this is how he forced David to only select the red crayon, matching with the past video of Marc's daughter also holding the red crayon. Now, some of you'd think the box had a window on both its sides, then why didn't anyone see the red crayons? Well, he had a single stick of different colored crayons glued to both of the windows to convince all of us that it's multicolored. Also, the box had the same design imprinted on both sides, as well as on both openings of the box. Now, coming to the next part, Marc first takes all the cards from the deck and convinces Alicia and everyone that all the cards in the deck are different. Notice he only shows a few bottom cards out of the whole deck, and this is where the trick lies. Yes, only these few cards had different pictures drawn on them, while all the other cards had the same picture, that is, the puppet penguin drawn on each of them. Thereafter, he brings those few different cards from the bottom to the top. Now all the cards below those few cards at the top have the same picture of puppet penguin drawn on them. Now, Marc spreads all the cards and tells Alicia to choose any one card. If you notice, while spreading the cards, he holds the top few cards towards his left, and in a way that blocks those few different cards, and this forces her to select one out of the remaining cards, which were all puppet penguin cards. Here, some of you'd think there's another way this part of the trick could work out. What if all the cards were indeed different, and he had the puppet penguin card loosely attached on the top of each of the cards? Would it then work out? Well, in that case, the deck would seem quite thick and easily identifiable, so this probably rules out this scenario. Now, coming to the Rubik's Cube part of the trick, no matter how Amanda mixes up the cube, the result would always be the pattern which Marc wanted. To confirm the same, notice these two frames. The first frame is the one where Mark takes the cube after Amanda had mixed it up just before putting it into the box. And the next frame is the one after she lifts off the box and reveals the pattern she had created on the top of the cube. Now if you look carefully, the front side of the cube in the second frame matches with this lower side of the cube in the first frame, which in fact forms the front of the cube after the box was lifted off. So, this side is the top face of the cube before it was put into the box. If you observe the top face before putting it in the box and after removing the box, the two patterns do not match. Now, there must be some gimmick inside the box. Yes, the gimmick's that inside the box, there was a sticker design or magnetic mask of the exact colored face at the bottom of the box. So, after Mark puts the cube inside the box, the stickers or the magnetic face at the bottom are attached to the cube, which he then places on the table with the bottom side now facing upwards. And this is how Mark's prediction of the cube was forced onto the judge. Now, in the last part of the trick, how did Mark correctly predict the word hat in that book? Well, the page which Simon selects already had the word hat circled inside the book. Also, that page was not chosen randomly, rather it was forced onto him, and here's how it was forced. The page had a tiny piece of paper or a tape glued on the edge of that page as a bookmark, and while riffling through the pages, he held on to that tape. So it doesn't matter where Alicia stopped, he would always skip to the page which had the tape, and this is the way he forces the page and then removes the tape before handing it over to Simon. But still, what about the circle Simon drew on that page? Well, the marker he gave to Simon was dead and there's no ink in it. He could have even possibly used a gimmick marker which would only write when held normally and wouldn't write when held with its nib pointing upwards. So it looks like Simon is putting a circle on the book, but it was already there, and Simon's mark was never drawn. Finally, the word hat was revealed, and this way Mark, without tampering with any of the pre-recorded clips, made sure that all four outcomes were correctly predicted to amaze everyone around. So guys, once you give us 100,000 likes on this video, we'll be coming back very soon with the reveal of Mark Spellmann's famous Mr. X gimmick. Meanwhile, let's move on to the second trick on our list, the impossible balance in air. Darcy Oake, the magician most famous for his dove illusion, this time around performed an amazing levitating act on America's Got Talent. He starts off the trick by calling Heidi and Howie to be a part of this trick by becoming his assistants. He also tells Howie to pick any random audience member to also assist for this trick. He then makes Heidi lie down on the board held together by Howie and the audience member. And now, the real magic happens. After removing the board, Darcy tells both the assistants to remove their hands, as we see Heidi magically floating in the air. So, how did he do it? Well, before revealing the secret, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get instant notifications of our new video uploads. Now, let's quickly get to the secret. Obviously, there's got to be a mechanism involved to make Heidi float in the air. Also, contrary to the other levitating tricks, this one was performed with utmost perfection. Now, if you look at Heidi, she looked quite stiff throughout the act. Also, the moment when she was about to lie down on the board, here you can see her body seems rigid and doesn't bend even slightly. So, she has a contraption strapped along her back, which attaches to the mechanism inserted into that bench. Yes, as Howie and the other guy named Doug hold their arms up lifting up Heidi, Darcy raises a transparent plastic support arm made of acrylic fiber that is anchored on the backside of the bench where the other guy is lying on and attaches to her back. Also, Doug's left hand is covering that transparent stick which is attached to her back and holding her up. When the camera goes behind, what you see is the stick mechanism as it's all black and Doug's left-hand palm cannot be seen. Also, if you see this frame, Doug's left hand is not holding the board, which confirms that the stick is all ready to be attached to Heidi's back support. Now, when Darcy comes into his position, he carefully places his left leg in the same spot as Doug's left hand, and is right behind the mechanism to cover it up before asking Doug to put his left hand down. He then puts his hand under Heidi's head to show there's nothing there and does not move around in a circle. Notice, he asks Howie and Doug to put their hands up again before he brings her down, and at that moment, the mechanism falls back to its place. Here, before bringing her down, you can see Darcy disconnecting the clear acrylic arm from the support attached to Heidi's back. The clear acrylic blends in from the front view, but it causes a shadow from the lights shining down on it from an angle as seen in this frame. Also, since the judges assist Darcy for this trick, it's quite possible that they too are in on the act, otherwise he would have brought along some other assistants. So finally, let's move on to the last trick on our list, the vanishing motorcycle act. Chloe Crawford, the beautiful magician, performed an amazing act on Britain's Got Talent where she teleports herself on a motorcycle from an elevated platform mid-air to somewhere towards the right side of the judges. So, how did she do it? Well, here's the secret. After Chloe performs the dress change and unveils the motorcycle, there's a moment which wasn't captured in the video footage, where she exchanged her position with a lookalike who was hidden behind the black background. That's the reason her lookalike covered her face with the helmet as soon as she appeared on stage. Now she was the one who sat on the bike as it was elevated mid-air on the platform. Now you'd think, how did Chloe appear at the end of the trick? Well, after the switch took place, Chloe had enough time to run towards the place where another bike was already disguised and hidden in the dark before the light was turned on to make her reappear, thus creating this amazing illusion. But where did her lookalike disappear after the platform exploded? Now, the trick here lies in that support platform. The frame of the platform was designed having a base and 4 support rods. Also, the cage was not structurally attached to the support rods, however, the platform could stay in mid-air as long as the rods were intact. Even after the lightning flash, only the sides of the cage fell apart, giving an illusion that the entire cage was destroyed. But as you now know, the secret platform was safely holding the lookalike and the motorcycle. Also, we couldn't see the bike, as it was quickly covered by a black curtain in the dark, and the part of the cage that flips down is merely an outer shell over that secret platform, which creates the illusion that the entire bottom is destroyed as well. So guys, hope you got the secrets behind the most famous magic tricks from Britain's Got Talent.